Just Joe here, and welcome to Too Many Movies at the Movies. Okay, obviously, I'm not at the movies. I'm in front of my usual movie collection, but I finally got back to the theater to see one is... Sometimes I talk good, sometimes I don't. Anyway, what I was trying to say was, I went to go see what's probably going to become one of the biggest blockbusters of the year, Thor Ragnarok, the newest addition to the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and I've been waiting for this for a long time because ever since the first trailer came out, everyone was so pumped about it. Because the first two Thor movies are definitely two of the weaker entries in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I like them. Honestly, I did. I like the first two Thor movies, but Thor is probably my least favorite Avenger. He's a lot like Superman. I'm not a big Superman fan because of how strong he is, all the powers he has. Thor is a mother-freaking god. It's like, how much more powerful can you get than that? It's boring to me. I know he can die and he can get hurt, and I enjoy the character, and I enjoyed him in the Avengers movies, and I enjoy the actor Chris Hemsworth, who plays him a lot, and I enjoy the other cast members, Anthony Hopkins and Tom Hiddleston as Loki. It's great stuff. Even Renee Russo as their mother. That was a good surprise. But the first two movies, just... I was happy I saw them, but I've only seen both of them once. They're two of my least favorites, so I was really hoping that Thor Ragnarok would be that Thor movie entry that just made me go nuts for Thor, and hopefully it was a good way to end the Thor trilogy, which is now a Thor trilogy, and would really set up for Infinity Wars. Now, did it do all that? Well, let me get to it. The first thing I talk about is the plot / the script. Okay, so after the second Thor movie and all the 4,000 other Marvel movies that have come out between Thor the Dark World and Thor Ragnarok, but the biggest thing is, at the end of Thor 2, sorry, spoilers for that, but it's part of the plot, Loki supposedly died, but he didn't, and he came back and he did something to Odin. He sent him somewhere, and he has been living as Odin for, I don't really know how long, but Thor at the very beginning gets captured. He defeats this gigantic monster thing, and to get something he needs to save his homeworld. When he gets back, he realizes that Loki has been Odin. He tells him to take him to Odin. They find Odin on Earth. He was in a nursing home, and then they put him somewhere else, but they find him. But they basically say that their homeworld is going to be destroyed no matter what by Hela, played by Cate Blanchett. And I won't spoil who she is. I don't remember if that was really a surprise or not, but I won't really say who she is just in case. But that she's going to destroy it, and basically kind of like a prophecy, their world's going to end regardless. And Thor is going to try to stop it, maybe with Loki, maybe with not. But once Hela appears, she's way too strong, and she is able to send Loki and Thor off to like this 80s weird cool planet where Thor is gonna fight in an arena, and there he meets up with the Incredible Hulk, Bruce Banner, who disappeared at the end of Avengers 2. And Loki is there as well, and Thor's trying to get out, but his hammer is broken by Hela. That was shocking, even though I saw it in the trailer. His hair gets cut, completely new looking Thor, and I love that they changed him. That was awesome. But he's got to get his way back to his home world, hopefully with Hulk's help, with Loki's help, with this other girl with a mysterious past who may have a connection with his home world, to defeat Hela and to save his people. And the Ragnarok thing, if Ragnarok is going to destroy their home world and can, kind of wraps up the whole trilogy, can Thor save his people and kind of maybe become the ruler that they need to be? Whew! Okay, so that's the plot of Thor. The script is definitely the best Thor script because this is the first Thor movie that truly felt like a Marvel movie. Guardians of the Galaxy has really inspired the other movies to go more towards the comedy. Not saying like the Avengers movies were very funny, Iron Man movies had a good amount of comedy, but the Guardians of the Galaxy movies I think helped inspire even the DC movies, when it comes to humor. And it's very obvious. Thor Ragnarok is basically kind of like a Guardians of the Galaxy movie. And that's perfectly fine with me. The humor is rampant throughout, but it's very good comedy, well-written comedy. Like, at least 90% of it is very, very funny. And the action is good. You know, the dialogue, again, it's not... There's some exposition and stuff, but for these kind of movies, you have to have it. And especially in the first, like, 15 minutes, it's so much. So damn much. But it's been a while since we've seen a Thor movie, so it made sense. I'm not gonna damn it for that. There's a lot to go through, a lot to get through, and everything else. I really wish they would have done more with Odin. I don't like where his character... I mean, I get it, but I wish more would have been done with him. I know I should say that for casting characters, but that has to do with the script. I just wish they could have thought of more for him, but whatever, I kind of get it. But the script, there's not really too much to say about it. It was well-paced, well put together. Mainly, I just have to talk about how great the comedy is, but this was a fantastic way to wrap up, if it's going to stay a trilogy, which it should, the Thor trilogy. And it's definitely the best out of all three Thor movies, by freaking far. But that was the plot, and the script, I give them a lot of props. They worked hard on it, and they tried really hard to make changes to make Thor a lot more interesting, and they did it, and the comedy was top-notch. Alright, next up I talk about the cast/the characters. Chris Hemsworth once again just nails it as Thor. I believe him as Thor. He looks like Thor, he acts like Thor, but he's also, what's cool is for all three movies, and that's to do with the writing too, Thor is maturing. He starts off he's kind of an asshole and full of himself, and through these movies, one day he's supposed to be the ruler of Asgard. I finally remember the name of his homeworld, Asgard. Not Asgard, that's I think something in football, but Asgard. And I like how he comes full circle on this. Or full circle, whatever, but he basically he becomes the Thor he needs to be, in my opinion, and you see that. And once again, I believe Chris Hemsworth. His comedy is on point. When he's serious, he's supposed to be serious. When he's in pain, you feel it. His acting, he gives it his all in this, and I love the changes they made to his character. I love where his character ended up by the end of the movie, and Chris Hemsworth just nails it. And same with Tom Hiddleston. He's just born to play Loki. And again, I love how his character has changed so much. And I was surprised where his character ended up in this. It was great. And Tom Hiddleston, once again, is funny. Not really threatening, but perfect marriage. And same with Tom Hiddleston. He's just born to play Loki. And again, I love how his character has changed so much. And I was surprised where his character ended up in this. It was great. And Tom Hiddleston, once again, is funny. Not really threatening, but perfect marriage. And it was great to see the Incredible Hulk, Bruce Banner, Mark Ruffalo in a non-Avengers movie. This is definitely the best Incredible Hulk movie, people were saying that as well as the best Thor movie. But Mark Ruffalo is fantastic, even though he's not in human form that much. He's really the Incredible Hulk for the majority of the movie, which is great to see. And Hulk finally has personality, and he talks, and he's kind of taking over a little bit. You'll probably be shocked by how long he's been the Incredible Hulk since Avengers 2. It's shocking. I was surprised by that. I didn't think about that. But Mark Ruffalo I was so glad he was cast as that. Edward Norton would have been great, but I love Mark Ruffalo in this. And again, I love where his character ended up at the end of this, and it's good stuff. And let's go through all the other characters real quick. Jeff Goldblum. I love you, Jeff Goldblum, even when you're bad, but you are not bad in this. He has a freaking ball as his character, as the guy who runs the 80s style planet. He is so much fun. He is the best part of the movie. I knew he was in it and I was excited, but he doesn't overact. He was so great in this. So damn great. So enjoyable. So much fun to watch. And again, he steals the damn show every scene he's in. And I was surprised by that. But also there's this girl, I can't remember the actress' name, I'm sorry, but she's a great actress. She was in Creed, the newest Rocky movie, until Creed 2 comes out next year. But she was great in that. She's great in this. I hope to see her more in these movies. She plays a great part, great character, great backstory. The villain, Cate Blanchett, her backstory was a little bit surprising. Not really much to her, but for what we got, I enjoyed her as a villain, and I was kind of surprised how she ended up at the end of the movie. I'll just say it like that. But Cate Blanchett, just, it's cool to see her in a Marvel movie, a 2-time Oscar winner, really give it her all as a villain, and she does a great job. And Anthony Hopkins is not in it very long, but he does fine. But like I said, I was disappointed in that, but whatever. But all the other characters in this, you know, are great. The past Thor characters are also in this. Guy who plays... I'm forgetting names. I never forget actors' names. But the guy from Star Trek who plays the Doctor, he's also in this, and his character is real... You don't really know which side he's on, but I enjoyed his character. I love that actor. He was great in this. The cast in this was about as perfect as you can get. I can't think of one weak link, and I loved every character. The Odin stuff kind of bothered me, but everything else was great. And last but not least, talk about the directing, editing, and the music. Alright, the director of this just nailed it. Just nailed it. The action scenes were fantastic. They didn't seem, you know, just like any other Marvel movie or action movie. The comedy was on point. The movie looked beautiful, as always. Cinematography was gorgeous. You know, he knew how to get the actors to get the performances he needed. The shots were fantastic. The movie flowed extraordinarily well. The director of this did a phenomenal job. The editing too, once again, Marvel knows how to edit these movies together. I can't think of anything that shouldn't have been there. It flowed well for a 2-hour movie. Yeah, editing was great. Music really stole the show because it has a lot of the Thor goodness music, a lot of the Marvel goodness music, but a lot of 80s stuff in there too. And it all just blends together so well. And sometimes you'll be wanting to dance out of your seat in the theater because the music is so awesome. And it was a perfect blend. The music was shown off in the trailers, and they did it once again perfect. I think they kind of stole a little bit from James Gunn, and they've seen how like actual songs can really play a part in these movies and get the crowd pumped up, and it works very well. Even Justice League did the same thing in their trailer, and they'll probably do it in their movie too. Everyone's using it as they should. Music was great. So my final thoughts is, as it looks, I love this movie. And I did love this movie. And it's definitely my favorite Thor movie. But it's definitely not one of my favorite Marvel movies. I will say, even though the movie was fantastic, it's the first time watching a Marvel movie I felt like just more of the same. And I don't care like that. I go to Marvel movies wanting something, and we're so close to Infinity War. Like, we're so close to this chapter being finished for Marvel that I don't care. We got Black Panther, then we got Infinity War next year, and I'm excited for both. But Thor, even though it was a phenomenal ride, I cannot wait to rewatch it when it comes out on Blu-ray. I'm not going to go see it again in theaters. One time's enough, and that showed me something. But I left satisfied, but not excited. I was really hoping Thor would get me pumped up for Infinity War or even Black Panther. And really, the mid-credit scene was fine, but not. I expected a lot more for mid-credit scenes for Infinity War. I don't know if they're now saving it for Black Panther, but I expected a little bit more. I love how this movie ended. I do. I love how this movie ended. It was very Superman-esque. I don't know if it's the same in the comics for Thor when it comes to the fate of Asgard, but I do like it. And it does kind of set up Infinity War. It does. I love where the movie ended up. I love the way everything got tied up. I do. I'm sure there are plot holes, there always are, but I can't think of any. You know, the characters were well written, the cast was great, the music was fantastic, direction was great, editing was great. You know, everything was fantastic. It just didn't leave me like, even like Spider-Man Homecoming did. Or even like Doctor Strange did. I don't know why, because Doctor Strange was basically just Iron Man again. It was the same freaking thing, but for some reason Thor, and that may just have to do with the fact that I'm not a Thor fan. I love Chris Hemsworth, I love the character of Thor, but I'm not a fan of the character. It's my least favorite Avenger. But I thought this tied up the trilogy extraordinarily well. It did. And when the movie comes out, I will gladly watch 1, 2, and 3 in a row. And then I'll see how, when you watch the 3 in a row without the other movies, how well they all tie together. Because I think they do. And that's not easy to do with the Marvel Cinematic Universe. That's not easy to do. Guardians can do it because they're kind of out there on their own right now. But for all the other ones, you know, you may have 2 or 3 movies in between a couple of your movies. And that's what's happened with Thor. Thor 2 was a while ago, a few years ago. But I don't know, it again just kind of felt like more of the same. But that's not really me complaining, because I did love it. It was fantastic. It's just not going to go down as one of my favorite Marvel movies. I hope it makes a lot of money. I'm glad people are enjoying it. But I guess I just expected a little bit more. So, my Justo rating for Thor Ragnarok, and I do recommend you go see it, is a 4 out of 5. So thank you very much for tuning in to Too Many Movies at the Movies with me, Just Joe. All the links are in the description below. Subscribe to my YouTube page, which is a part of B1 Productions. Like this video, or don't like it, whatever the hell you want to do. I don't care. I prefer you like it, though. Subscribe to me on Twitter, Instagram, to the podcast, Facebook page. All this stuff, all the links are down there. And, you know, there's some good movies coming out next couple months. I should have some more Too Many Movies at the Movies, and every single Friday, I've got a new episode where I watch a movie from my collection I've never seen. So look forward to that, and I will see you in the next video. Take care.
Quiet on the set.